Okay, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we're in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Innu Cree, and Dakota peoples, and the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation and Treaty 3 territory. My name is Neil Harden. I'm chairing today's panel. With me are Diane Knight and Valerie Werhun. The assessor today is Abhishek Ratan, and the administrative personnel is Phoebe Graywood. We will be hearing applications for revision of the business assessment role in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act and the City of Winnipeg Charter. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application and will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the board. The board is appointed annually by council as independent of it and the city administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions the applicant may have, then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all the evidence upon an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You'll receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We will be hearing item 4 on your docket today. Ms. Graywood, please affirm the assessor's and applicant's testimony.
Please state your full name.
Abhishek Ratan.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. And Mr. Charlevoix Page, please state your full name.
Stephen Charlevoix Page.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, so the sole remaining property on our agenda today is 655 Henderson Highway. So, Mr. Ratan, you can begin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Property address 655 Henderson Highway, business assessment ID 372, premise ID 476, premise area 3,721 square feet with a base ARV of $96,597. The base ARV per square feet is $25.96. The total occupancy cost for the premise is $10,047, and the total annual rental value comes at $106,620. And I would recommend the board to confirm the 2025 ARV for $106,620. And on page 2, I have some rent comparables, whose area starts from 2,200 square feet till 12,000 square feet, and the average rent and the median rent comes around $30. So the rent rate used for our subject property should be confirmed. Thank you.
Okay, questions, Mr. Charlevoix Page.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Assessor, would you agree that the subject property is older than all but 3 of the comparables you provided?
The subject property was established in 1977, and my comparables consist of 1952, 1960, 1998. So they have some older comparables too.
Okay, so 3 of the comparables are all but 3 are newer.
Some of them are.
So do you think that a standalone credit union built in 1977 might belong at the bottom of the range of comparables you provided today?
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Those are my questions.
Okay, Ms. Knight, any questions?
Yeah, all these properties, are they all banks or what are they?
They're banks, all banks.
They're all banks?
Yes.
Any of them credit unions?
I don't know who's the current tenant in them, but most of them are from the banking sectors.
But we don't know if they're a credit union or a bank, correct?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Warren.
I do not, thank you.
Okay, your comparables, they are all standalone properties? Are they in the malls or anything like that?
I don't remember about all of them, but most of them should be standalones. But there could be some in the malls too. I couldn't be very specific on which ones are those.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Charlebois Page, you can begin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So subject property is a credit union built in 1977. Premise area is 3721. Current assessment is 106,620. I'll flip to page 5 of my report where I've included my comparables. Mine are major 4 banks. Leasing information limited for credit union specific, but I would sort of infer that, in terms of tenancy strength, major 4 bank would be superior to a credit union, not in all cases, but as a general statement. So I reviewed the lower end of the banking rents, and not dissimilar to the assessment authority, there is quite a range going from the high teens to the mid 40s. In my estimation, the difference between those is a lot of the ones in the 40s and high 30s would be in anchored assets or in large commercial hubs. Sort of, if you look at some of the deals, and not to flip back and forth between mine and the assessors, but 1100 Taylor, let's say, is one I excluded from mine. That's in a brand new RioCan shopping center where there's a high rise being built in that plaza. So the median of my analysis is 2393, and the average was 2308. I've applied a revised rent of 2325 a square foot. I did not dispute any of the occupancy costs. My proposed revised ARV is 96,540, and that can be found on page 6, along with my calculation. And I would ask the board to revise the assessment to 96,540. Thank you.
Okay, questions, Mr. Rattan?
No, I do not have any.
Okay, Ms. Warren,
I do not, thank you.
Ms. Knight.
I just wanted I'm trying to get back to the page of your comparables, so just give me a second here. I was trying to compare them to what he had given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
are any of them the same? Because I can't flip between 2 of them that easily.
I'm just having a look here to see what overlap we have. I don't think we do, and that'll come from my analysis coming from the major 4 banks, because that's what I have available to me.
Yeah.
I did note that comp 12 on the assessors is a credit union, 900 Harrow Street East at 23 bucks a square foot.
Okay.
I don't have a great deal of them. My tenancies are there. I'm just sorry. I'm trying to do a side-by-side comparison.
Yeah,
here.
that's what I'm trying to do too.
I don't think we have much overlap on these.
So the one at 35 Lakewood Boulevard, is that in a mall?
I believe it is, yes. I think that's an older CIBC in a mall. I'll just confirm that for you, but I believe that one's...
There's 2 in Lakewood Boulevard, so that's why I'm questioning which one that is.
Yeah, I think that's the small CIBC unit, and just confirming that it's not a pad, but it's in the actual, the older shopping
It's
center
on
there.
this, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And then the 2866 Pembina Highway, that's in a mall too?
yeah,
And the Corden one is in a mall?
I believe so.
Okay, so these are all in malls, but this Assiniboine Credit Union is a standalone building. Is there a difference in price between a standalone and in a mall?
Yes, and I think one of the difficulties you'll find is most of the standalone ones are owner occupied. There's no leases in place.
Right.
So it makes it more difficult to build an analysis where a bank would have bought a 70s or 80s building and run their business out of it. There's no lease, or no arm's length lease anyway, in place. So Tough to really find comparables, but what I would say is in general, and you can say this across the retail sector and across, any of that ranging, any tenancy type, if I'm in an anchored retail asset and I'm standalone, the rent for an anchored asset will always be higher. You benefit greatly from sort of like a high-end shopping center.
Right. So on
amenities.
Henderson Highway, there's a whole ton of banks as you come along. Why didn't you use any of those as comparables?
So a lot of those are newer. So a couple of them had effective age increases, and I think that's staying in line with the fact that the major four banks have sort of a built-in obsolescence that's not necessarily in line with the building, but more with the brand. Like a McDonald's, they have to keep updated, like a car dealership. You have to keep updated.
Right.
Versus a credit union, if you've a visual of the subject property, this is a modest building, brick on block from 1977, and there's no brand new window units lining the front. This is like the asset's different, and so the reason I went with these is these were sort of the older stock, the lower end stock of the major four banks that I have available, and quite honestly, I didn't have the lease deal available, but comp 12 from the assessor at 900 Harrow Street East, $23 a square foot, actually kind of supports more where I'm going there, is sort of that 97 credit union in that lower end of the range. But anyway, that's why I chose that.
It's just easier if you refer to something that's in that area as opposed to all around, going to 2866 Pembina and out St. Mary's Road and out Keewatin, there's a long ways away to compare one to the other. That's all. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, and maybe I'll just on a comment on that is maybe harder to, in my opinion, to adjust the newer stock back on quality, like a quality adjustment, than it is to look at the older stock citywide. But I respect your comments, and that's a fair statement.
Yeah. So. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and you're comparable on Keewatin is also in a mall. It's anchored by a Safeway and liquor store. So I don't know which you need the money more for, the liquor store or the Safeway these days.
It's I think that's a pad. That might be a pad lease, a standalone lease out there. Now that you mention that, and the odd rent.
It's not a pad. No, it's a matter
it's in.
It's kind of hidden in the mall.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Does the just looking, it doesn't appear to have a drive-through ATM or anything like that the newer branches have?
No.
Sorry, were you asking about the comps?
No, about your the property under appeal.
No, I do not believe it has a drive-through ATM. I'll just check the rear of the site because from the street view you can't see it, but I'll just ensure.
No, it does not.
I don't believe it does.
No.
So.
Okay, and is there any ATM on site, or
I'm unsure.
Yes, there is. It's
okay.
just right around the corner from me. That's why I know the building.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. I got no other questions, so thank you very much, gentlemen, for your presentations.
Are we sure that second 1625 has been accepted?
Yes, I've updated all the documents and you're
Okay. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure before we closed.
Yep. Okay, and we've heard the single item on the docket today, and this hearing is now adjourned. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your presentations.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye now.